Okay, I pressed it.
Okay, I got it. All right, first of all, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Um, Thank you all for participating in this meeting today. The purpose of the meeting, as Dr. Neal sent in the text message, is to basically discuss next year. Now, I know we're not really certain about what's going to happen as far as next year, but we still want to be kind of prepared moving forward with next year. So, with that being said, for this meeting, we want to develop and implement some ways to acknowledge, recognize, and celebrate the contributions of our students, parents, community persons at our school. This year we started the student spotlight, and first of all, thank you to everyone for the student spotlights, especially to Ms. McCullers and Ms. Jack, who really helped me through the student spotlight. So with that being said, let's kind of talk about student spotlight this year. Let's talk about the pros and cons. What can we do better next year as far as the student spotlight? Not everybody at one time.
I think the students really enjoyed it. So I think it was a great positive as far as their recognition.
Okay.
I thought it was a good positive. As far as from a teacher's side, it was a little confusing about picking, about what students had and hadn't been picked. But I think that sort of worked its way out as the year went on, and
Anybody else?
And just to piggyback off Mr. Barnett on the confusion for the students that were picked, let me ask this question. Was it a Google Doc out there showing what students had been picked so teachers could go and look at that document and know these students are off limits for choosing?
Well, we started off with like a Word document, and I was sharing it with everybody. And then we ended up with a Google Doc, and Mr. Barnett kind of helped. He helped with creating the Google Doc every month with the students that had been already picked.
Okay. I think that would help alleviate any confusion there, is making sure we start the year off with that running Google Doc. Making sure that that's out there, probably only allowing 2 people to edit, but everybody to have access to view. Also, I would like to see, I know you put it out there, the criteria in choosing, but if we could put it out there and let our incoming parents know that this is something that their students can look forward to, the student spotlight, and just have some sort of brief criteria to let them know what teachers are choosing from.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so again, thank you for participating in the student spotlight. So we can move forward with what ideas do you have as far as acknowledging or recognizing contributions by students, parents for next year?
I was thinking about that, and I think for parents, of course, as teachers having an input on that, but also letting students nominate parents. Maybe that's an idea where maybe we could create a Google form where they can nominate parents who they feel like has an impact on people. Then teachers, administrators maybe could vote on that to see, okay, this one looks good, or maybe we can do this one next time, something like that. That's just an idea.
Okay.
Maybe they feel like their parent, whatever occupation, or maybe they don't even have one, but they still impact people. Maybe they feel like they contribute something to the community, to the school, to society.
Okay. Anybody else?
One thing I think we might look at too is sort of a reward for either the student spotlight kids, or if we did implement something else where, you know, that once a month maybe they get an extra free period off. You know, just something to, you know, it wouldn't even have to be all of them if we didn't want to. You could just say your name's going to go in the hat for a reward, or something along those lines.
Okay. Anyone
Ms.
else?
Wilson, go ahead and tell, because just a reminder what they got this time.
Okay, so for the student spotlight, they received a Chick-fil-A card, and then they received a $3 snack day voucher.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. So that's
Well,
great.
you know, and I can make that, you know, aware to teachers so they'll know as far as like, you know, what students are getting as far as student spotlight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's great.
Okay. Anybody else? I mean, you can think in terms of like, you know, just think about what we do at the school. I mean, how do we recognize the kids as far as academics or anything they do in the school besides, you know, student spotlight? So what else can we do?
I would be willing to for one day out of that month, take time and have lunch with those students, and I think that would give them the opportunity to see me in a different light. And depending on how my funds are for that month, I would even consider buying them the lunch.
I have an idea. What if we did like instead of like a student spotlight, we could do like we could pick a student for the month, and like the media like get to know, you know, John or whoever it is, get to know the student, and they like interview the student, and it would just be a way to, you know, and that could be picked at random, or I don't know how we would, you know, do that, but it would be, you know, a way to get to know the student, and the whole school get to know them, because, you know, we're such a big school, and a lot of these kids, they don't know a lot of the students that are even there, because they don't have classes with them. They may not know them. And so that would be a way too to, you know, let the students get to know one another. And also, you know, they might not be able to be in the student spotlight. They can still, you know, get to be seen here, get learn a little bit about them.
Yeah, I like that. Anybody else?
Ms. Jack, what did the media students do for those spotlight students?
The picture that they took that went on the student spotlight wall, we would put that, and they would say, you know, Miss Williams chose Morgan Russell for her student spotlight, and gave the reasons why that they had typed into the Google form when they nominated.
Could we go in more depth with that? Maybe interview? Is that possible? Instead of just, you know, just talking
If
about
the student who's chosen willing.
them. Okay. Would that
You know,
would
some
that
of
be
the
good?
students are really shy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I interrupted you. I'm sorry, Ms. Jack.
No, I said I think that would be fine for the students that feel comfortable doing that. Some of the students that are chosen, sometimes they're kind of shy and they don't want to go on camera, but, you know, we can try.
Or maybe they can fill out a form or write something down if they don't, you know, want to interview. Maybe. Okay.
Could we have like a TV in the lobby that would like scroll through them like throughout the entire year, whether it be their interview or just some information about them? That way parents that are waiting on to check out their kid or something, they could see that.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Ms. McCullers, because I wanted to get with Ms. Jack about getting us a board or some kind of movie screen like Mr. Barnett has in his room. If we could put something like that in the lobby and let it scroll daily. If the technology could work that out.
Okay. Well, how can we spotlight teachers? You know, we talk about students, we mention parents, but what about us? What can we do to, you know, show what we do in the classroom? Any ideas?
Well, also for the student of the month, we can also do a teacher of the month. Have students send in recommendations for maybe a teacher of the month or teacher of the 9 weeks or something like that.
Can we do not just teachers as well? Do any, you know, faculty that's at Durantown?
Yeah, like any faculty, staff, anybody who has an impact. The student can send in a form saying why they impacted them and what, or why they should be nominated for that month.
Okay.
Who's gonna be the chooser?
Well, Dr. Neal, and I don't mind helping with that. You know, for me, you know, I don't have to be chosen for this because I just want to, you know, help better school. That's just my whole goal. So
What if they choose the principal every month?
oh,
Could, I guess, make a Google form and have like the nominations, and they could, you know, take 5 minutes during homeroom or whatever to vote, and we
yeah.
could make a form and we could do it that way, and then we, you know, it'd be students that would be choosing it, tally it up that way.
Okay. All right, so like if we recognize the teachers, you know, each month, do we want to give an incentive? Do we want, or just the recognition to be fine?
A breakfast with triple T's.
I was thinking maybe I could take that teacher to lunch at the Shack.
Oh.
I'm out.
I would be willing to give up my elaborate parking space and let the teacher park up front every month, once a month. That's one thing we could do. I could also do lunch for them.
Okay.
And I could talk with some of our community partners as well. Karen Pack, you know, she's our contact with Chick-fil-A. She's always so gracious, but there's some other community partners that I could get with. I could get with a Cut Above Detail Shop and see if they would be willing to donate a car wash.
Okay.
For that month. I could get with Main Street Drugs and see what they could do for me. So I have some community partners out there that I could reach out to.
Could we also get in contact with the school system's Facebook page, not just Durant South, but also show it for the whole district?
Yes, I can get with Matt Black, and I'm sure Miss Jack can twist his arm as well, and we could get that on there.
And I say even for the student of the month as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, Morgan. Good idea.
All right. Anybody else have any ideas? Okay, so I didn't want to just throw out my idea. Now, one thing that I want to do is, you know, recognize students for their academic achievement. Also, you know, for AB on a roll, maybe we can get, you know, have them come to the lobby or gym and take a picture and just recognize these students for making AB on a roll, you know, each 9 weeks. So what do y'all think about that?
One simple thing, and I don't mean to dominate the conversation, but one simple thing that we could do is the homeroom teacher make sure that they post that outside of their room. Okay. The listing that those that made all A's or those that made AB on a roll.
Yeah,
And
and
if,
North, they list the entire school list in the main hallways for each 9 weeks of who makes all A's, who makes all A, B honor roll, for everyone to see as well.
Okay, do they do that on one sheet, Miss?
Mhm.
Okay,
They do.
and if we had that TV in the lobby, we could even, you know, have a scrolling list and maybe even take a picture, you know, so when their name comes up, their picture would be next to it on the list.
Mr. Barnett, how much was that TV in your room? I don't remember.
It was under, I think it was under 500 for the TV and the mount. So it wasn't that expensive. Now, it just depends on what you want to do with it. You know, if you, hold on one second. If you're gonna hook it up to internet, it's not a smart TV, so it's not gonna hook up to the internet on its own. But you know, I didn't really need that.
Okay,
So,
I'll look into that. You remember the size right off?
I got the biggest one I could. So I think I think it was it's either 65 or 70, but I can go back and look and see.
Mr. Barnett, please be careful. Making me nervous.
Sorry about that. We're driving through a town and all of a sudden the tornado alarms start going off. So, but
Dr. O'Neill, I have an extra 42-inch TV that's just sitting in a closet. I would be happy to donate that.
Okay,
It's not a smart TV, but it's a TV that can be put on the wall. It's a flat screen.
okay, okay. I'll take it. And I'll say I'll take it. Let me ask Matt about the connections. And if it's not a smart TV, how we can make that work.
Well, all you would need, the easiest way is a Google Chromecast, and it syncs up with the computer and it runs whatever's on the computer. It makes it a smart TV.
Okay.
And those are just maybe $25, $30 at Walmart and Best Buy.
Okay. You all are full of ideas. I love it.
Okay, so we talked about students for academics. But what about students that have like perfect attendance? Can we recognize them as well? Because, you know, I know attendance has been like one of the kind of, it's not big, well, I'm not gonna say big, but it's an issue that, you know, because if students are not in school, you know, they're not learning. So is there a way that we can recognize students that, you know.
You're breaking up a little bit, Ms. Wilson.
Sorry? Oh my gosh.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Oh. I think my Wi-Fi is going out. Can y'all hear me now?
yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So is there a way we can recognize students that for like perfect attendance each 9 weeks? Oh gosh.
Now, I think we give them the framework for them.
I still had those reading and math times. And then I think one day they were able to bring their own device and do a half a day thing. And stuff like that. I don't know if we could do that every 9 weeks. Every month might be a lot, but.
I'm like Miller. Whatever we come up with attendance, we've got to make sure that we start out. I think that's Barnett I'm hearing.
Sprint. Sorry.
Whatever we do with attendance, we've got to start out with it at the beginning of the year. I think that would be great. I can tell you from our last principals meeting, as far as attendance and early warning, and Ms. Wilson, correct me if I'm wrong, attendance through early warning is not going to happen this upcoming school year.
Yeah, that's correct, Dr. Nelson.
Now, before this meeting started, Mitzi Droxler from Juvenile Probation walked in to meet with me. Don't know what she wanted, but if she talks about something with attendance, I'll email it out to everybody so you'll know what's going on there.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else have any other ideas?
We could do that perfect attendance to piggyback on that on the school news every month. Have a running list, say for these people in August, these were the perfect attendance students. Just to recognize those as well.
That's a good idea.
Is the attendance policy that went out kind of in the middle of the year last year still gonna happen?
Honestly, Ms. McCullers, I don't know what's going to happen with attendance because what's out there now, students are going to have, of course, or parents are going to have the option of whether they're going to be able to send their kids to school for this year or if they're going to choose a virtual option. So the attendance conversation has not really gone in depth yet because there's so many options with the State Department.
As far as items? Oh my gosh. Does anybody else have any ideas?
All right. I don't think there are any more discussions with attendance. I think we're losing Ms. Wilson, but I think that's what she wanted to discuss was student spotlight, how we could recognize our students, attendance, and then doing something to recognize our faculty and staff for once a month. So what we'll do, we will type up meeting notes from this meeting and we will shoot those out to this exclusive group, and then we will hopefully, maybe we can talk again before the month is out if that's okay, and then we can get some things together and get some things hopefully in place. And also I will get some meeting notes out to you when I hear something from the central office as well about different issues concerning school on next year. I won't just get that information out to this group, but I'll get it out to everybody. Does that sound like a plan?
Yes, sir.
Listen, guys, I appreciate everybody working together. Still in the process of closing down this past school year. Ms. McCullers, she's, of course, has records and things ready to be sent to North. I'm trying to close out the school year and trying to still collect money and textbooks and all of those things. And hopefully we can get the majority of that done by the end of this week. And hopefully next week I can start on schedules. Ms. Moore, I don't mean to put this out there openly, but I was not granted that button that I'm trying to put in place for next year, and then I'll share that at a later time when we can. Anybody have any questions before I close this meeting?
No, sir.
All right.